Welcome to Mindful Conversations. My name is Greg Dwyer. My guest is a good friend, Chris Lengyel. He's a magician, and he's coming back to show us some magic. We're going to talk about what he's been doing in the last 6 months. Chris, thanks for being on the broadcast.
Hey, Greg, it's been a while.
Yeah, so show us a magic trick. I love magic.
All right. Wow, this was quick right off the bat, huh?
Yeah, let's see some magic. What do you got,
All
a card?
right, yeah, so let's do something cool.
And nothing's been set up?
No, nothing.
Okay.
I'm going to set something up, though. I'm
Okay.
going to tell you that, but we're going to get to that at the very end.
Okay, cool.
But I am going to do something now. Regular deck of cards, right? We'll shuffle it up like this. Greg, I want you to pick a card out for me.
Any card?
Anyone that you want.
All right.
Without knocking the deck out of my hands. Yep, show the cameras. I'll look over here.
All right, what camera we have? Let's see, we got this camera. All right, let me look at it. All right.
I'll just say, yeah, it helps if you look at it, right?
All right, I got it.
So watch this. What I'm going to have you do is say stop.
Stop.
Card's going to go right there for me.
All right.
So this was the card.
Yeah.
Right, that was the card.
Yep.
Watch this. So we'll put the card into the deck. I'll give it. I'm actually going to guess. Let's guess. Let's say your card's not here.
Right.
I have no idea.
Okay.
Right. Hold out your hand. Hold on to that packet for me.
Yep.
Give me 5 tries to find your card. And I hope the camera can get this. Look, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each card. And if you see yours in there, don't point it out. Just let me know afterwards that you saw it, okay?
Afterwards.
So we've got the Queen of Diamonds,
Right.
the Ace of Clubs, the King of Diamonds, the 7 of Spades, or the 7 of Clubs, and the 10 of Clubs. Did you see your card?
I saw my card in
So
that.
we don't even need this packet then. Here, hold on to that. Yeah, just, put everything together and stuff. That's fine. Now, look. Now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards here, okay?
Right.
I'm not sure if it was the the Queen of Diamonds.
You want me to tell you?
No. It was the King of Diamonds, wasn't it?
It was the King of Diamonds.
That's because it was the next card on top. What? See, now if I were to take it just like this and I were to crumple it up
Yep.
and kind of toss it up into the air, now it's gone. And if you don't believe me, we now have 1, 2, 3, 4 cards left, none of which happen to be the King of Diamonds.
If it's over here, I'm going to freak.
Well, hold on. That's the thing. It's not on the top. It's not on the top. It's in the deck. Take the deck and spread it out, face up on the desk.
All right.
Spread it out. See if you see anything in there.
Oh, there's one card upside down.
Check that out.
All right, so I got one card upside down. Are you saying that this is my card? That is my card. Okay, very nice.
And that's how we do it.
So how long did you take to learn that trick?
That one, 15 minutes.
No way.
But like I said, I do want to set one really quickly. So here's what we're going to do. Could we take that hourglass?
Yep.
I know that you...
What do you want to do with it?
You usually use that for time, and that's what we'll do. So once the time comes towards the end of the show, I'm going to take this card and I'm going to place it underneath the hourglass.
Can I put it over here?
Yeah. And
Okay.
actually, that's even better because I don't want to touch it.
Okay,
We're going to
fine.
leave that there for a little bit,
Well,
okay?
while we're talking, let me interrupt you. How did you get involved in magic? What happened?
So I started it out as a hobby.
Yep.
When I was 13 years old.
Okay.
I basically picked up a deck of cards and I started performing with it, playing around, looking at instructional videos on YouTube, getting books.
Okay.
I took lessons for a little bit. I started doing small shows for my grandmother's 55 and older home, and eventually they would hire me for their grandson's birthday, or I would get one show here for $50, one
Sure.
show here for 30. I would do shows, and I realized that it's like, okay, well, I'm making some money off of this, so let's see where I can go. And I
Right.
practiced, and then I started doing my close-up magic. I started hustling out in New York, met a lot of awesome people. I've been on television a few times, performed for Penn and Teller.
Yeah, tell me about that. Tell me about the television and tell me about Penn and Teller.
So I had a public access show kind of like this one,
Okay.
only I went out and filmed street magic. And
Oh,
I
you
put
did?
I edited it together in episodes, bleeped all the swears out and
Like
everything.
David Blaine.
Sort
going
of,
out-
almost exactly like David Blaine, only it was a 10-week episodic series, which I actually just found all of the DVDs that I'd never sold at my shows.
Is it on YouTube? Is it on?
No, it's not on
Can
YouTube.
you
No,
upload it?
you can only get it through me. You can only get it
Are
through
you
me.
selling it? Or?
No,
Okay,
I'm
so
not.
why don't you put it on YouTube so people can watch it?
Because I'm so embarrassed by it.
Oh, okay.
You got to remember, this is back when I was really young and I
Okay.
was a lot fatter and I had long hair.
Okay.
I was trying to be Chris Angel. It didn't work.
Oh,
So-
okay. I was trying to be Doug Henning when I was a kid.
But Doug Henning had a Broadway show. Chris Angel
Yeah.
got started on Broadway. People don't realize he did not get started out in Vegas.
Where? On
Vince
Broadway? What do you
McMahon
do?
in the WWF
Yeah.
started Chris Angel.
No way.
Yeah. He did the hanging from the fish hooks from his back
Yeah.
and his legs for
Yeah.
6 hours
Yeah.
at what is now the Hard Rock Cafe in Times Square was the WWF building.
Okay.
And they would use that to promote all the pay-per-views. They had matches there, wrestler like meet and greets and stuff, but
Yep.
it was also a restaurant.
Right.
So Chris Angel was hanging in there in the main window in the corner of Times Square for 6 hours, and that's basically how we got his start.
Wow. Didn't know that.
No.
That's crazy. I wouldn't do
Because
that.
people think that Mind Freak is what got him his... Well, Mind Freak gave him the boost,
Right.
but that wasn't his start. And he also was not famous at like 20, like all of these young guys are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've got guys like Shin Lim and Steve Brundage and Matt Franco,
Yeah.
who are all very, very young. They're my age.
Right.
Which is what annoys me of why I can't get famous at my age. You know what I mean?
You know what? It's not easy, and not everybody
It's true.
does. And I also heard that Chris Angel, I think his mom remortgaged their house for him to
a
get
few times.
Yeah.
And now he's bought her, what, 3 houses or something?
think so,
He
yeah.
owns a mansion in Vegas. He owns 30 cars,
Right.
14 motorcycles, something
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
And you know, he's got it going for him. You know, but it's television that got him where he was.
Right.
So,
Let's talk about television.
All right.
We don't have a script here. We don't edit here. I don't have the time.
we're
we
breaking
just sit.
the fourth wall.
Yeah, we just talk, right?
Yeah.
So, but when it comes to Chris Angel, or it comes to some of these other guys that are doing television shows, how much of it is kind of like, camera tricks, or at least editing, where they don't show an angle over here, or they don't show an angle? Do you know?
I do.
Okay.
And the things that people have accused of being camera tricks for the longest time are actually not camera tricks.
Oh, they're not camera tricks.
I'm going to reveal something.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm not going to completely reveal
I mean, like
it.
the Statue of Liberty disappeared.
That's exactly what I was going to
Were
talk
you
about.
really?
Yes, it's so funny.
And you know
It's
what?
so
I
funny.
picked it up.
That was the number one thing that everybody thought was a camera trick,
Right.
and it wasn't.
Well, it's not a camera trick in the sense that they didn't have a green screen.
No.
There was no green screen like a fake.
Oh, there was a screen.
There was a
but
screen that came up and down, but
Yeah. But it was actually for real, done in front of a live audience.
Yes, it was.
For real, they did it on the property. David Copperfield had to go to the Pentagon in order to pitch the idea because it's a national monument and landmark.
Yes.
If anything happened to that, he would be going to federal prison. So he had to expose the trick to the FBI.
Yes.
To the Department of, like the protective services for
Yeah.
the monuments.
Yeah.
To the National Park
Right.
Federal
Right.
Bureau like that. Everybody, he had to go and expose the trick. So he, in a way, actually was able to make it disappear for the people that were there.
Now, I don't think we're going to talk about how he did it, but I knew a guy, because I lived in Bethesda, Maryland, right outside of D.C. for a year, and there was a guy that I knew in my community that worked there, and he told me. He says, this is what they did, and it was interesting.
And it's something like you have to watch it 30 or 40 times to really see exactly what they're talking about. Because at first, when they lift up the curtain and they drop it, the statue's gone.
Right.
You're not looking. You're looking through that pillar, and
Yeah.
the statue it's really not there.
Right, exactly.
That I can tell you, they did not edit it out.
Right.
Those lights are really going
Yes,
through there.
and the helicopter goes
And the
through.
helicopter's really there.
Right.
But the statue didn't really move.
Right. Well, yeah, and I don't think we want to go farther. But, the other thing, too, is somebody wants to go on YouTube and search this out.
Yeah.
It won't take a year.
It's not going to. And unfortunately, there's
Yeah.
a lot of people on YouTube who have it, dead accurate, too.
Yeah, they are.
But getting back to what I was saying before, you would never expect that to be actually done as an illusion.
No.
There are guys who edit card tricks.
No way.
David Blaine was guilty of it so many times. All right, perfect example. The trick that David Blaine did, and it's not a card trick, but the trick that David Blaine did, where he set up, he stole the guy's watch off of his wrist, and then they went to the jewelry store, and they ended up reaching his arm through the window.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
Camera trick.
Oh, no
Definitely
way.
had to be a camera trick. There's no way that thing could have been real.
Okay.
If you think about it. Unless they went to this guy who owns the jewelry shop and says, hey, we're going to cut a hole in your window and we're going to, mess it around. But we'll have it fixed by morning. Don't worry.
Right.
It'll be fine. No, there was definitely something behind that because I've seen the jewelry shop. I've been there.
Okay.
I've been to a couple of David Blaine's quote-unquote filming locations.
I saw him a couple summers ago here in Connecticut. What a strange show.
It-
What a
it's
strange
weird.
guy.
It's weird.
I mean, very strange.
But it's genius.
It is genius.
Greg, think about this. How much did you spend on that ticket?
Believe it or not, I bought that ticket the day of.
Okay.
And it was under $50. I did
Okay.
it the last minute.
Front row seats to that show were what, $400?
No way.
Something like that, $300-400.
I was in the balcony.
Oh, you were in the balcony.
I was in the balcony,
Okay.
and the theater was. Now I know we talked about Madison Avenue. No, not Madison.
Madison Square Garden.
Madison Square
Yeah.
Garden. This is David Blaine in Connecticut, and he did not sell that theater out.
Oh no, well he also did it at the Oakdale. That's a big theater.
Oh, okay.
That's a really big theater. But think about this. This is how smart. First off, that show there was no magic. Everything in that show was real.
It was really weird.
Yeah.
Especially,
Putting the needle through his hand.
Yeah.
Or did he do the hand or the bicep?
I think he did the bicep, and the
'cause
first thing he did was put and closed his mouth.
Yeah,
with
that's real.
yeah.
He really pierced.
And the frogs.
Yep, that's real.
Now, but I have to ask you, how in the world did he stay underwater for 5, 6,
because
7,
he's
8?
trained himself.
Are you serious?
Absolutely.
Are you kidding?
He's breathing pure oxygen, and
is.
that's where the genius of it comes in.
Where is he getting the oxygen from?
Oh no, he's not breathing underwater. But when they're showing that big screen where he's training to go
Yeah.
underwater, and you see him sitting on the box, he's breathing pure oxygen. There's a trick to that. If you hallucinate, breathe in really, really quickly. For a long time, you get lightheaded.
I bet.
It gets oxygen. It rids your body of carbon dioxide or
Right.
carbon whatever it is
yeah.
that you breathe out.
Yeah, sure.
You can hold your breath an average of 30 seconds or a minute longer if you do that enough.
Right.
Now
Okay.
he's doing that, breathing pure oxygen.
Okay.
So he's got no carbon in his body.
I see.
So he can hold it in for a lot longer. So yes, he's actually under there. But this is the genius of it. Think about this. You left your house,
Yep.
got in your car, wasted the gas to go and spend the money
Yeah.
to get a parking ticket.
Yes.
After you bought the ticket to sit there in a theater with uncomfortable seats to watch a man sit underwater and stare at you for 10 minutes. Isn't that absolutely the most genius way to get people to watch a show?
Showmanship.
If you think about it, nobody has ever done that.
Yeah.
Except for Blaine, and it's not the first time he's did it.
Wow.
You know?
Well, when he took the water, he does another thing too, where I think what he does is he drinks
He
the
drinks
water.
the water.
And then he drinks the kerosene?
Yep.
Okay.
That's called spouting.
And then what he does is he puts out the fire with the water, right?
He spits out the kerosene.
First.
Creates the fire.
And
then-
creates
yeah.
the fire.
That he learned how to control his muscles in his stomach.
Right.
Which is not. People can do it. That's why, like when he spits at the frogs are in his body.
They are in his body, yeah.
That's actually how he gets it through airport security.
What?
He swallows the frogs in the bathroom, and he goes through airport security and then spits them up the night of the show. He doesn't digest them because he's trained his muscles.
That's crazy.
I personally
That's crazy.
think. Oh yeah, I personally think David Blaine somehow throughout all of this long road of doing magic and doing all of these stunts, I think he has figured out how to turn off the sensor in his brain that lets him know that he's in pain. There is no other explanation for him putting the thing through his hand,
Right.
Swallowing the kerosene, stitching his mouth shut,
Right, right.
all of that stuff.
Right.
The bullet catch, he knows how to not feel pain.
So I don't think I saw the bullet catch. I don't think he did it the night of the show. No, he didn't. I saw it on television.
No,
where he
and-
has a little cup in
yeah,
his mouth.
and he got hurt
That's
doing it.
real.
Yeah,
he's not doing a trick there.
he has a mouth guard that was made by a dentist.
All right.
And he has a bulletproof cup that he holds in his mouth. And the guy, he literally he lines it up with a laser sight
That's
and shoots the cup.
insane. So in other words, if something happens, he's gonna die.
Oh yeah, and that's the craziest thing. I've got weird stories about
It's
David Blaine.
crazy. Well, we're going to take a break in a minute,
Yeah.
but you would never do that. I would never do that. But you have to wonder, why would a person want to put themselves through that? Maybe it's just because they want us to be talking about him now. Who knows?
You never know what's going through his head.
Yeah, but being a magician is not easy. And
It's
we'll take a break. So let's do this. Let's take a break. We'll be back in 2 minutes. We're with Chris Lengyel. We're talking about magic. And I also want to talk about the journey that he's been on in the last 6 months. So stay tuned. We'll be right back on Mindful Conversations. Welcome back to Mindful Conversations. Greg Dwyer with my friend Chris Lengyel. We're talking about the philosophy of magic. So this guy, David Blaine, little off. You don't seem to be that off, but you've been struggling.
I'm off.
Things have not been perfect for you in the last couple months.
No.
But you have bounced back. So tell us the story. Everybody's got a story.
Everybody does have a story, and might I say, the Jim Reed, that episode that you had was very, very enlightening. It makes you think.
Yeah, he was great, wasn't he?
He was amazing, and I really hope you have him back on.
I'm going to have him back on.
He's fantastic.
Yeah, he's great.
But, no, as I was watching that episode, he was talking about, things that he had gone through and, the way his life was going. And, he's right. Everybody does have a story. Well,
right.
I do Magic full-time. As of right now, I do it full-time.
Right.
I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of it.
Really?
I'm not.
What shifted?
It's the fact that I've noticed over the past couple of, I wouldn't even say weeks, it'd be months. It's just so repetitive. It's Groundhog Day.
Well, so is Barry Manilow singing Mandy.
Well, I don't listen to Barry.
Well,
Manilow.
you know what I mean, or
No,
Led Zeppelin,
I know
or whatever,
that.
whatever
No,
you listen
I know
to,
that.
AC/DC, whatever you listen to.
And you know what? And what it comes down to is the generation has changed. The kids have changed. Everything is going in another direction. Everything is technology filled, and it's really affected the way.
But what about real art? What about real theater? The other day, I went to see a guy that used to be on Saturday Night Live, and it's so great to be in a group where someone's performing like you.
No, it is, and I agree. And that's, like my stage shows. I took real big pride in my stage shows, and I had a full tour that was going on.
Yeah.
And it bombed. Like I literally.
How do you know it bombed?
You were at the Bijou, right?
Right.
Okay. The three theater shows that I did before that brought in the same amount of people as that one night.
Oh, okay.
The marketing was horrible. I tried getting people to help me out with, branding, and things didn't work out.
It's not easy.
My crew ended up, bailing out on me for a couple of shows. The Bijou was the best show.
Right.
You saw that. You were there. We had a really good time before.
You were also at the
after.
Strand, right? You did the
I
Strand
was at the
too.
Strand, and that's what started this whole downward spiral.
Why?
Of me really rethinking everything. Because, first off, the Strand the theater let me in 45 minutes before the doors were supposed to open to the public.
I remember that.
And you do remember
You
me
were
in
panicked.
the back throwing things.
You were panicking.
Yeah, I was not happy.
Yeah, 45 minutes.
The show, we had very stagnant lighting. When you saw the show at the Bijou, that was some great lighting. That was some great cues.
Yep.
The music cues were on time. The microphone, I had none of that.
It happens.
There were 40 people at the show. I put in months worth of advertising, thousands of dollars into marketing, both on online and, in person. I had posters and postcards. I was on the news. I invited pretty important people of, around the valley where I'm from.
Sure.
And the show just, to me, it was a complete disaster. Like, tricks weren't working, cues were off, and it's like, that's not the show that I wanted people to see.
But did you learn something? Here's what
Yes, I did.
If
Yes,
you
I
learned
did.
something, it's not a disaster.
Yes. No,
What did you learn?
I learned that you're not supposed to tell the theater that you're going to comply when they tell you you're going to be there on time.
Yeah.
No. The one thing that I learned is that I really had to sit back and think about what I was doing in that show.
Okay.
I'm an expert in close-up magic.
You are.
You know who else is an expert in close-up magic?
Shin Lin.
Shin Lim,
Lim. Okay.
Matt Franco,
Yeah, he is good.
and Mac King.
Matt King. I never thought you'd say, because he's a comedian.
He's a comedian.
But he's good at close-up?
He can do that. He could do the show he does in Vegas at a comedy club the size of this room.
I saw him in Cleveland do it. Like in the
Cleveland, really?
80s. No,
Yeah.
no, sorry. No, I was there in the 90s. So
But think about it.
I saw
though.
him there do it.
Whether it's a big 1,000, because how big is this theater out in Vegas? What, 500 seats, maybe a little bit
Yeah,
more?
and believe it or not, he doesn't fill it every day.
Really?
No. Have
But
you
he
been
could
there?
take that. I have not.
Oh,
I've never been to Vegas.
You have to see him.
He could take that show and bring it to a room, a parlor room at the back of a bar, and still have the same exact reactions and the same exact.
He's a
atmosphere.
pro. He's
He
a
is.
pro, hands down.
But he's also one who's crafted and mastered his art. I personally thought that I had it down, and it turns out I don't.
But you realize he's been doing this since the 70s?
Yeah, I
Do you
know.
realize the
I
same
know.
things that he's saying tonight in Vegas, he's been saying
Yeah,
for
no,
25
I know
years?
that. I know that. And I'm
just a kid.
Yeah, well, I'm 26 years old.
Well,
I'm
he's
almost
been doing his act for 26 years.
I know. I'm the age that David Blaine got famous. We'll say that much, all right? I'm
But
actually,
you know what I mean,
in
though.
the I know what you mean. I'm actually in the process of restructuring my show.
Okay, good.
Instead of nothing up my sleeves, it's going to be called The Magic of Chris Lengyel because I learned very, very quickly.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's simple magic
You
of David
brand your
Blaine.
name in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't get your name out if you're not using your name, which is the one thing I wasn't doing.
You need a writer. You need a producer. You need a director.
I do.
You need
I
somebody
do.
that says you're going to do this, because you can't see what you can't see.
Exactly. And the problem is the fact that because I'm such a perfectionist, I was so focused on all of my things being pinpoint exactly the way that I feel like they should.
Right.
And what I like, that person might not like, you know?
Right.
But to me, I feel like the show that I did at the Strand was just a complete dive bomb. And from there, I started getting depressed.
Oh, no.
I went into this downward spiral. I started drinking.
Wow.
I was having problems with my relationship. My cat died the day after. So,
Right.
there's that, right? And it just made me start questioning, like, what am I really doing here? And what is there really a point of me, staying around? I was getting really, really mental as far as, like, depressed, and I just did not want to be around. I did not want to be here. And I don't want to get,
No, that's
too
okay,
depressing,
because,
you're going to lose ratings right now.
No, there's a story here.
But, you're right, there is. And I actually I ended up being hospitalized.
Oh, you did?
I ended up being hospitalized. I had a mental breakdown, and it was my mother, actually, who decided that she was going to call the police, and next thing you know, I had 4 police officers and an ambulance in the front of my house.
Wow.
So they brought me to the hospital, and
How long were you there?
I was there for 3 days. And
Okay.
but here's the thing, Greg.
Okay.
It was a great 3 days.
Good.
It was me,
Yeah.
and that was it.
Okay. Yeah.
I didn't have anybody telling me that I messed up. I didn't have anybody
Right.
telling me, oh, you don't know what you're doing. Oh,
Right.
you're a bad father. Oh, you're so irresponsible. No, it was just me and the Golf Channel.
Wow.
And it made me realize that, like, yeah, you know what? Sometimes in life you mess up. Sometimes in life, things aren't going to go your way. You know what you do? Take a step back and you restructure. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I started playing golf again.
Okay, good.
So I'm out on the course every weekend. I'm taking my anger and frustration out.
That's interesting.
I'm not lowering my score, but I'm working on that, But, I'm focusing on golf because maybe that can be an alternative to Magic.
Well, what are you going to do in the winter? I mean, here it is, December,
I have a
January,
job.
February.
I got a part-time job at Golf Galaxy.
Okay, good.
Which hopefully turns into a full-time thing.
Okay,
but
that's
I still do have my gig that I do at Shafriho in Ansonia. It's a Costa Rican restaurant. I'm not quitting.
So you're doing Magic at a restaurant?
Yeah.
So I'm in. Where was I? I was in Ireland. No, I was in. Let me think. I was in the UK.
Yeah.
So I was in the UK about a couple weeks ago, and I went to this place called Bath, right? Stonehenge. I wanted to see Stonehenge, and I walked.
I heard
over.
it's really disappointing.
I had a great time. It was wonderful. But here's my story. In Bath, which is close to Stonehenge, there was a bar and restaurant with sleights of cards or sleight of hand.
Really?
Yeah, and I thought of you.
Huh.
It was amazing. So
Yeah.
what are you going to do? I know
All
you
right,
put
yeah,
a card there, so you
we
didn't
had
touch it.
We had a card there, and I promise it's been there the
We haven't
entire
touched
time.
it,
But
no.
what I'm going to do right now, Greg, is that's actually a prediction. Okay. Now, I'm actually going to give you this deck.
Okay.
What you're going to do is you're going to follow my instructions very carefully.
I will.
You're going to take about a quarter of that deck and turn it upside down. No, turn it completely upside down.
What do you mean?
So flip it upside down.
This?
Yep, and put it onto the deck.
There.
Just like that. Yep.
Yeah, cool.
Now do the exact same thing with about half of the deck.
Oh, okay. All right. There we go.
Yep. And now do the same thing with 3/4 of the deck.
So there we go.
And then turn the entire deck over.
Upside
So what I
down.
want you to do is deal the cards face down into one pile until you come to the first face down card.
Oh,
Yep. And then when you get to the first face down card, just put it off to the side and fix the deck.
all right. So
And you can see as you're going through that all the cards are different, correct? And I had no influence on where you cut the cards, how many cards you picked up, nothing like that.
And we didn't
right?
work this out. I didn't
exactly.
I've
And
never seen this before.
Right.
All right, now I have
so you're
this
gonna
card.
take that when you're gonna put it in your pocket, actually, without even looking at it. All right. Fix the deck. All right. Yeah, right there. That's
How's
fine.
that? All
That's
right.
fine.
So I put this on top?
Complete it. Complete the deck, so that way it's all fixed.
All right.
Perfect. Here we go.
Now what?
Now I'm going to tell you something right now. I'll take that. I'll actually take this, all right? There is no possible way that I could have touched the card that was been sitting underneath the hourglass this entire time.
I haven't touched it. I haven't looked at it. Have no idea, and it's not a setup.
Now,
that's
you
for
see,
sure.
Greg, one of the best things about Magic is the fact that you create the illusion of something being absolutely impossible.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Exactly.
Now, if I were to tell you that the card in your pocket and the don't look at
I
it
won't
yet.
look. I won't
If
look.
I told you that the card in your pocket and the card underneath that hourglass matched, how awesome would that be?
You mean the same?
The exact same card.
The same card.
The exact same
I
card.
cannot believe that that's actually possible.
And you handled this deck, right?
You didn't do any slights. You put a card there.
Right.
I took the deck. I did all the dealing.
Right.
This is crazy.
Do me a favor. Take the card out. Show your card.
It is the 9 of Hearts.
The 9 of Hearts. And
9 of Hearts.
Can you do me a favor as well and take the card out from underneath
Chris,
the
listen.
hourglass?
Wait a minute. Hold on. If that's a 9 of Hearts,
You owe me dinner.
I'm going to buy you dinner.
All right, that sounds like a
let's
plan.
see. All right, 9 of Hearts. Oh, I get to save my money. Oh, my goodness. 9 of Hearts. Were you getting nervous there for a second?
No, not at all.
All right, so you have 2 cards that are the same.
Yes.
You put this on. I don't.
Greg, I do want to say one thing because I know we're running low
Yeah,
on time.
please.
If you guys want to see this new show, The Magic of Chris Lengyel, I'll be at the Bijou Theater in Bridgeport Mother's Day weekend.
Yes. How do they get tickets? Do you know?
Online, www.bijoutheaterct.com or at the door. Tickets are not available yet. I will have everything on my website, www.chrislengelmagic.com. And if you're watching this, I'll have the link in Facebook down below. Down there. Yes, down there. See?
Excellent. This is cool. Well, I'll tell you, every time we have you back, you're talking about something different.
Yeah.
And your life has changed, and I only wish
bridge.
you the best.
I can't wait for the next episode, Greg.
So I'll tell you, the first trick I ever learned was my uncle showed me a coin trick. He took a coin like this, and he just went like this, and it disappeared. That was it. I was like 4th grade. You know, French drop, right?
Yeah.
So he took the coin, and he just made it disappear, and that was it. That was it for me.
Something like this.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do this. We're just going to throw the cards out.
Right?
Is this a full deck? I'm probably not playing with a full deck. See if
No,
I
it's
can-
a full deck. Well, it's
you know-
slowly not becoming a full deck.
You know who I feel like? I feel like...
Thank you for watching Mindful Conversations. I'm your host, Chris Lengyel, with my associate here, Greg Dwyer. We'll see you on the next episode.
I feel like David Letterman, right?
Right?
All right. All right, so we'll catch you next time on Mindful Conversations. Here you go, Chris.